Robbie is the HCC contact, Robbie?
Yes, let me just make sure. Give me 2 seconds. Kill the audio and then.
Bill Klingberg, I'm with SCORE here in Houston. Does everybody know who and what SCORE is? Really? How much do we charge for mentoring?
Nothing.
Right. Typically, well, we don't charge anything for anything that we do. Okay. Every once in a while, we charge for workshops. We are also 140 people strong here in Houston in SCORE. We have all different backgrounds. I'm a sales and marketing guy with experience in wholesale sales. But we have retail people, we have lawyers, we have accountants, we have people with all kinds of different backgrounds and specialties. Excuse me, if you have not mentored before, this will tell you where. We have 15 locations around the city. The main location is Gessner and 59 Freeway. How many people have actually mentored so far? Okay, some of them. If you haven't, there's a Find a Mentor card. There's a couple of ways of finding a mentor. You can put your name and email and all that in your question, and let us find you a mentor, and that person will then email you and set up a time to get together. The best way, I think, anyway, is to find somebody that's been there and done that. Like, for instance, if you want to start a restaurant, I am not your guy. I sold pubs. The only thing I know about restaurants is you go in there, you eat, you give them money. But we have a number of people that do know the restaurant business. They own restaurants today. Again, it's easier. There's a place to put in a keyword. So in this case, I would put in restaurant and see who it brings up as a mentor. And because the closer you can get to where you're going, the better off it's going to be for you. Most of us can help with how to start a business in Texas. It's so simple that even a sales and marketing pump guy can do it. But everything we do is confidential. So even if you have something that you want to keep confidential, you can do that. So read this stuff. What's really important is the evaluation form, please. Any input that you can give us after the fact, we appreciate it. We try to get our workshops to where you get what you need out of them. It's not, we're not doing it for our fun or experience. We've done this a few times. So, are there any questions right now? Okay. Robbie Bromblot is from Houston Community College, and he's our our guy here with HCC. So he's going to give you a couple of words, and then we'll get on with the presentation.
Thank you. So my name is Robbie Brumbat. I'm the Director for Innovation and Entrepreneurship at the college. And my role includes hosting these workshops at the Southwest College, as well as having student competitions, hackathons, which are really fun events where we try to create new solutions, solve problems, and try to commercialize them, start companies out of them. I appreciate what SCORE does, because that is a very valuable source in Houston for startups and entrepreneurs. The mentors from SCORE, one, they know what they're talking about, right? They've done it, they've done the walk, right? They're not just telling you to do something that they haven't done. So I really appreciate them, and I really appreciate HCC having what's known as an MOU with SCORE to be able to do this across all of our schools. Southwest is just one center. We have another center at Northwest and another center at Southeast. So really get to spread out the work of SCORE through our MOU. The other thing I'd like to ask all of you to do is, while you're filling out the SCORE evaluation, I also have a HCC intake form that near the end, this intake form will allow us to know a little bit more about you, what your interests are, what your goals are. And we have a lot of different things happening at the campus, at the college, such as we offer free opportunity workshops where you can learn about Facebook and Photoshop. You can learn about creating a WordPress website. And these opportunity websites tend to be free. We don't charge. They're hosted at our libraries, and they're open to the public, right? We also have started to offer what we call digital upskilling classes for senior citizens. We teach them on smartphone usage, right? iPad usage. How you've passed all this technology, but do you really know how to use it? And if not, would an instructor-led class help you? At our college, you may be aware, but senior citizens over the age of 65 could take up to 2 classes for free. It's paid for. You just show up, and you register and you show up. and you learn any of these digital skills, or maybe you're interested in taking our fine arts class to learn to dance or drama or to create pottery. Whatever it may be, we have a very dedicated program under adult education for our senior citizens. So those are just two examples. We also have a very large procurement department, which means if you are a small business owner, talk to us about getting certified as a minority business owner or a women business owner. We have not only access to those certifications, but we also have, HCC spends $1 million a day on keeping up. We've got 26 campuses across the Houston area, probably in the 70s in the number of buildings that we have. Well, we need landscapers and food vendors and printers and marketers and every, all small business owners you can imagine to support that. So you could become one of our vendors, right? To learn the process of doing that with HCC procurement. So those are just three small examples. There's tons others, from getting certified to getting accredited to getting your degree to transferring to a four-year college. Whatever your goals are, the college will help you. And that's why we're here. Okay? So Bill, thank you so much for bringing us another awesome workshop on marketing. Let me quickly just share what I've learned about our speaker and pass it on to, is that fair? So I've learned that Nick, so Nitin goes by Nick, is a serial entrepreneur. So that means he's established multiple businesses and has been successful to earn the entrepreneurial title. He has used the understanding of marketing to build significantly sized businesses that can compete with companies with an international presence. So he's not just focused on our community, but the global community. And I think that's something in the age of marketing, in the age of knowledge and the information technology, that is a valuable skill for you to develop. And he hopes that through these workshops he shares what he's learned, good and bad. So please ask questions, and hopefully the layout of this room is in such a way that Nick can walk around and really you can engage with him. So I'll hush up. Thank you so much.
One other thing I want to mention, you're being streamed on YouTube. If you have a problem with that, you've got to say something to us. Okay? That says that on the sign out on the table. Anybody have a problem with that? Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes.
So does HCC have any program for entrepreneurs, say, if I want to learn marketing?
Yes, we do. So what I would love for you to do is, if you fill out that form and let us know what your interests are. But also, my business card is on the table outside. Please reach out and let us know. We do have a marketing program. We do have certificates, which means you can get a level 1 certificate in economic development that includes franchising or social enterprise if you're interested in creating a nonprofit or a B Corp. So we do have these programs, and to help you connect to the right resource at the college, my office would be more than happy to help. Okay? All right, Nathan, this is your show. All right, thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
Robbie. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nick, like he said, Nick Tarte. That's why I go ahead. The reason is, when I started my business, they couldn't pronounce my name. I was making cold calls, and my target customers were all Fortune 500 companies, and they were like, I didn't take me, I said, just call me Nick. We need to move on to what I could offer. So anyway, I'm going to go through marketing slides today and talk about marketing. There's a good point made, and that's a good segue for me to say this. This is just a 2-hour sort of introduction. Okay, there are entire classes on marketing. It's not just one class. If you attend a graduate program or undergraduate program, typically there'll be at least a minimum of 2. And if you major in marketing, we're talking about even more than 2. So what I'm going to attempt to cover is kind of distill down the essence of marketing as we see it at SCORE. And these slides were put together by a couple of other folks in me. Some of the slides are mine. I just had it yesterday to give a little bit more color. But the point is that if you're expecting to walk away and say, okay, I know how to implement a marketing program at my company, you might be a little disappointed. But I promise you, you're going to go away with a new perspective. And some things that you may not have thought about, and some things that you need to think about. So, with that being said, I'm going to move around a little bit, so I hope you guys, that way you don't fall asleep. So I'll get on with the slides. So, marketing, according to, there's two parts. And many a times when you run into a person, they'll say, I work in the marketing department. And many a times they do, but quite a few times they are in sales. So there's two distinct parts. There's marketing and then there's the selling part. The marketing is the, as it says, that creates a desire to buy. And the selling is the person, like if you go to a dealership and you're running into a salesperson, well, that's a salesperson right there. That is the sales part. And the sales part is not going to go anywhere if you don't have your marketing down the way, whatever you intend it to be. Otherwise, you're just selling into thin air, and you're going to be, encountering a lot of disappointment. So you guys understand what I'm saying? My English, everything's fine? Yeah, okay, good. So I always tell them in my class, I'm on version 3.0 of my accent. As you know, I was not born here. I didn't know that. When I started my business, I was on version 1.0. Okay? So you guys are lucky. You're getting version 3.0 of my accent. I say this because there's another question I wanted to ask. You guys see me as like a good sales guy or marketing guy? I mean, honestly, you probably won't hire me for trying to get to your customers or land a customer, right? Well, on my own, I built a business. It was close to about 4 to 5 million in revenue before I brought on some other folks. And then eventually, when I sold it, it was at 15 million. And I started in 1996, and I sold it in 2004. So, how did I do it? Okay, I'm no genius. Okay, I'm not a guy who's going to be able to sell you a pen that you already own or a pair of clothes that you already have. I'm not one of those. So I will fare miserably in a car dealership. So you just have to look at what you can do, and what I did do is what I'm going to share with you. Okay, and that's what this class is about. Because no matter how you speak, no matter what your personal presence is, no matter what your face looks like, you can still be successful. And anyone who tells you otherwise, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Okay? And we'll see this in a minute. So, that being said, I introduced this slide. We covered it in a different class. When you attend an all-day class, there's another class I teach, along with marketing and business opportunities. Well, actually, this one is even prior to that, which is, do you have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? And we have a lot of things on those slides, but some things are not in that slide. PPAR is what I call it. Okay? I'm going to share with you what made me successful. And you have to see what do you have, and whether you have it, or you have to adjust accordingly. So the first one is you have to be passionate about your business. Okay? You have to believe in what you've got, and that it's going to, it's the right Kool-Aid for your customer. If you don't, then you are doing the wrong thing. If you're not wanting to be an entrepreneur, and you're not able to self-motivate yourself every single morning, you'll be tough. You got to be persistent, because you are going to get kicked in the teeth. I promise you that. Sometimes by your customers, and many a times by your competition. And you have to have the ability to pick yourself up, keep going like that, energize the bunny. Does that make sense? These are, really trivial things that I may have said, but I tell you what, I must have mentored upwards of 400 companies, okay, in the last, before school and after I joined school. And in the last 2 years, I've quit mentoring because I'm busy with my own real estate business. So I just teach now. And you'll be surprised that these 4 things that I see, that I believe are so essential, that a lot of folks don't have, or they don't have one, they don't have the other. I would urge you to look at this. Okay? If you look at the history of entrepreneurs, whether it be Steve Jobs or Bezos or anyone, they have these. Okay? Because you've got to be passionate, because you're going to get kicked in the teeth, and therefore that's what's going to keep you going. And persistence, important, very important. You have to be well read. Okay. Now, when I say that, these days I get a glazed look. Some folks say, well, what's that? That newspaper? Well, that's kind of cross. That's like a dinosaur. I don't care what you read. On my street, I think I'm the only guy who reads the newspaper still. I get the Houston Chronicle, I get the Wall Street Journal. 2 excellent sources of news that I've made money. In Houston, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars in real estate just by reading the Houston Chronicle. So you can't tell me that there's no information in that stuff. And why I made it? Because others don't read it. So I've taken advantage of those who don't. That's what business is, right? You're not taking advantage, I'm saying it the wrong way, but it's an arbitrage, right? You know something that someone else don't. Someone is trying to sell a business, someone else doesn't know what problems could have had. And that's how the buying and selling is done. The most important reason why you need to be well read is because, I'm going to step back a little bit. We are in the age of hyper innovation. Okay, Ravi spoke about innovation, the entrepreneurial program. This is 2019. In 2012, I used to talk about artificial intelligence and stuff like that. And I used to get blank looks. Man, it's there in the future. I used to talk robotics. I used to talk virtual reality, augmented reality, this chair that you see. One day may not even exist, and you'll be seeing that chair. You'll swear that this is the chair. There's a chair out here. It'll be projected. It'll look real, very, very, very real. It's coming. It's already there. Okay? All your flower vases and pictures and all will be on the wall, and it will not really be there. It's augmented reality. Stuff like that I used to talk about. I used to talk about even about trucks going down the highways in a convoy without any person driving those trucks. Do you guys believe that? Do you guys now doubt that's going to happen? Last year when I talked about that, there was this lady in the Splash show that she used to be a trucker. And I told her that this is coming. And she said, no way it ain't coming. It's not coming in my lifetime. There's no way that's going to happen. I don't know if you read the latest news, okay? There's a startup out of California that has now gotten licensed to drive hands-free trucks flying from Arizona to Texas. You're going to see it on the road. They're actually safer than humans driving trucks, actually. They're going to fall asleep. They drive at a safe speed and so on and so forth. In fact, they've got it down to where you can have 3 trucks going, one right behind the other, separated by no more than 6 feet at 55 miles an hour. Because they're connected. One truck breaks, boom. The other 2 right behind will break simultaneously. This is being test marketed. Not marketed, sorry, tested. This is coming. So when I talked about this in 2012, I used to, like people used to be dismissive, but it's happening. Human civilization, right up until then the next technological revolution came with the Romans. They started building bridges, roads, aqueducts. But then you think about it, nothing really happened in the next almost 2,000 years, up until the Industrial Revolution, and the printing press and so on and so forth, and the steam engine, most importantly. Between that time and the advent of computers, which was somewhere in the 50s, right? Things just chug along. I mean, there was rapid change in what's happening. Now, fast forward to today, what you see in your hand, okay, just to put it in perspective. Are you guys even aware what this is? This is a super computer. It's not a phone, merely a phone. The computing power in this one device is more than the computing power that existed in the 60s all across the world. And with that minuscule computer, we landed a person on the moon and brought those people back. And those computers were nowhere as powerful as this right here. This is a supercomputer that happens to make phone calls. This happens. It's just a minor part of it. When did this happen? When did this come about?
2007.
When did that happen?
2007.
Right. So we now take this for granted, but if someone had told us in 2006 you'd be able to shoot movies and take pictures and speak and record and do FaceTime, you'd be no way. But it happened, right? Right here in 2019, we take it for granted. Technology is moving at such a warp speed that we're not even pausing to understand the impact. Why is this important? That's why you got to be well read. Why is this important? Because this stuff can blow your business away. And I'll share with you some examples. Okay. But there's also money to be made if you get it right. If you're read, if you're well read, and if you're not reading junk on the internet, and there's a lot of junk. If you tell me that you're getting your news on the internet, there are some good sources. Okay, Associated Press, Reuters, those are good sources of information. There's a whole bunch of junk. And that is not where you're getting the news from. You should. You can read it for entertainment, that's fine. So you got to be well read, and most importantly, after that, is PPAR, adaptable. A whole lot of folks are not adaptable. Those who don't adapt, what happens? Now we say it so easily, but you'll be surprised. I may have mentored so many businesses that they don't, even after telling them that, they go and repeat that same mistake. You know what Apple's first product was? Talking about adaptability. It's kind of a little segue. Sorry? Steve Jobs. Well, what did those guys, Wozniak and those other guys, come up with? Do you guys know that? Computer? Okay. Apple One? Okay, any others? Calculator? Calculator was a Hewlett Packard. Good guess. Those of us who have gray hair will know there used to be something called a rotary phone once upon a time. And you used to make those long distance calls and you used to say, hey mom, how you doing? Okay, I'm fine. Okay, I'm going to put the phone down. Boom. That thing used to cost a bomb to make those calls because there was only one company, AT&T, or the monopoly. So Apple came along and the first device was to mimic that tone that allowed that call to become free. That was the first product. And they went to those geek fairs and it sold like crazy. And but then Steve Jobs realized, well, that's not something how you can make a living because that stuff is illegal. Because AT&T lobbied Congress and they cracked down on it because up until that time it was not illegal. So you can make free calls. That was the first device. And then after that they came out with the motherboards, and then after that the Apple computers and so on and so forth. So they almost went out of business twice. Steve Jobs almost lost his entire, he was almost broke. adapter. Then he came out with something that even we didn't know we wanted. The iPod Play. You guys remember that? It seems like so way back. And then came the iPhone. So the point is, these companies that have adapted, right? You ever heard of Kodak? Kodak. So, if you guys are up on news and it's going to impact you, okay, I've seen in my own business, I was in IT consulting business, and I'll share with you what kept me going and what made me succeed. Whereas about 80 to 90% of my competition died. Okay? And that stuff is like technology. You are hot today and cold tomorrow. Nobody wants you. And you're only as good as the skills, the latest skills you've got. It is these things right here. Being well read is what survived. Okay? Why I was able to position my company into something else. So these are the technologies that you should remember. CARV is the for lack of a better, just so people will remember. It's not what you'll find in the textbook, it's my own abbreviation. CARV, one is everything is going to be connected. Okay, these are technologies that are being rolled out. Everything will be connected. I spoke about those trucks, one behind the other, another connected. When automated cars are going to fly on the road, they're going to be connected. So that's why once we human beings get out of the way, these cars are going to be talking to each other, and theoretically there'll be no accidents. Because each car will know what the other one's doing in the vicinity and know which way to navigate. Artificial intelligence, you are not hearing about it. AI, big. It's going to creep up on you so gradually and so pervasively that you won't even realize it. Today, when you buy a house, you don't ask the question, does this come with electric sockets? Do you? You just take it for granted. Electricity is pumped into the house. That wasn't the case about 100 years back. You had to ask, does this house come with electricity? The same is going to be with AI. AI is going to be just all pervasive, all over. That's it. It will be used in every single domain. I don't care what you're doing. Robotics. Where am I? Boy, I mistyped. Sorry, this should be robotics. The R stands for robotics. Yeah, repeat it twice. Sorry about that. That R, that where it says the first virtual reality, it stands for robotics. V stands for virtual reality or augmented reality. Those are two sister kind of technologies. And another one is Internet of Things, which is everything Internet. Everything Internet. So, these technologies are hugely disruptive. Okay? And it's going to impact eventually all businesses. Some earlier, some later. You own your lawnmower, that at one point, somewhere in the future, within the next 25 years, it's going to get replaced by a robot. That's going to happen. A lot of lawnmower people, but some of them. What does that say about the rest of us? They have to adapt. And there's going to be opportunities coming up too. So, so if you got that PPAR and you got this CARV, which you want to keep left front and center on your screen, on your radar, when you're developing your business plan or planning your business, you've got to be aware of this. Now, that doesn't mean that today that you could take advantage of it. Some of them you could. But you've got to be aware of it because there's ways you can profit off it. Right? If you know what's coming down the pipe, and you make that adaptation first, which is what I did with my business, you can make money. So in my business, so you heard of IT services, right? And there's fixing computers and stuff like that. That's not what we did. This was high-end work for Fortune 500 companies. Our typical consultants were roughly about $200 an hour is what we charged, plus expenses. And they used to travel Monday through Thursday and Friday. The clients used to pick it up because this was high-end stuff. But I knew that this was not going to remain hanging for too long. And so I used to always be reading, okay, let me see what so-and-so expert has said, so-and-so whatever think tank has said. And I stumbled into this area called analytics. You guys have heard about it now? Big data, yeah. That's found, the foundation of analytics is big data. So back then we never called it big data. That came later on. So analytics is when I realized that things are home. Okay? Oh, that's going to be one of the things that are hard. I looked at what I had in my business. I said, dang, I hardly have anything. So, but I had a little bit. I took that one little sliver, made it sound way big. And I got into it. Well, I was one of the first companies to get into it. And companies my size could not compete with me because I was not talking stuff that they could barely dream of. I was already ahead. I was talking much earlier than them. Same personality, same lousy accent, okay? Well read, can help you a lot. Just knowing where things are going and take advantage of it. That's what allowed me to compete with the Accentures, what we called back then Anderson Consulting. These are big companies, okay? That I was going up against. And we were still selected by a lot of companies because we came across as the experts. That comes into marketing, which is a good segue now. So, when I teach this stuff at another class, another mechanic, who said, dang, I was going to start an automotive, mechanic shop, and you just told me that, I was talking about cars and how they're going to become automated. This was about 2 years back. The latest on that, automated cars, got pushed into the future, by the way, because there's some technical snags. But he was so discouraged, and he said, you know what? I said, no, hold on. That's not what I'm trying to say. So I have got this slide here. Short term and long term, okay? So when you are going about your business, you could be short term focused to make sure you're making money, okay? And all that robotics and all that stuff is nice. It's good. But that doesn't put bacon on the table. You got to go with what you are good at right now. So with this mechanic, what I told him was, look, you can go ahead and start your automotive store, make it successful, get it to a certain level, and about 5 or 10 years down the line, sell it. At some point, there's going to be a lot less business, and with these businesses, like car dealerships, for example, you can buy them for a song. Once upon a time, car dealerships used to cost a fortune. They were sought after. Now, car dealerships, that's a tough business. Part of it is because people are realizing that somewhere in the future, all these dealerships are not going to be selling as many cars. America sells around 18 million cars a year. It's projected to go down by about 5 to 10% just because of the sharing economy. That creates a huge problem for a lot of these folks who are marginal, in profitability. Car dealerships live on service, not on sales. That's not where the money is. So you could be short-term focused by saying that you would take that business, sell it to who? Someone who's not done it, who think that there's a lot of legs left in this business. And that's what happens every single day. If you think I'm saying you should trick someone, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there's some people who believe they have more information, and other people also believe they have more information, and someone is more right than the others. Slim Fast, right? You guys may have heard of Slim Fast. It was bought by Unilever for about $8 or $9 million. They wrote off that entire acquisition. It was popular and boy, it traded out so fast that they wrote off their entire acquisition cost. So a company like Unilever got snookered. A company like Hewlett Packard bought a company called Autonomy out of England. With somebody gave some song and dance to the CEO back then, and they bought it for about 11 billion. Exactly within 1 year, they wrote off almost 10 billion. They realized that they had bought a bunch of junk. I mean, it was good, but it was not worth that much. So this stuff is going on with big companies too. What I'm saying to you is that you can start a business, sell it. If it's going to get offended by technology down the road, and while you're retooling yourself for the next wave to catch, that gives you the opportunity to make money and jump into a different kind of business. But that's what it's going to take going forward. Maybe not next 5 years, but 10, 15 years, yes. You're going to get impacted by technology. So how do you hunt? Okay. I gave you my example, right? About focusing on a certain segment of the IT industry, in the services business. Now, I drew these pictures to kind of drive home the point that, like getting a customer is like hunting. You got a bad game. People back game, back in those days when they used to hunt with spears, by a pointed spear, right? Because you need a point to penetrate. You need something sharp to penetrate. This thing, if it is blunt like this, ain't going to penetrate. Are we on the same page on that? This is very critical. Even though as dumb as it sounds, or sorry, not dumb, sounds pretty trivial. Let me tell you, a lot of people miss this important picture right here. When you walk out of this class, I want you to remember this diagram that I have. Do we all agree that this is no way to hunt?
I didn't get the concept.
Sorry?
I didn't get the concept.
I will. Thank you. But you agree, right? This is the way to hunt. Thank you. So let's get that one thing down, and I want you to remember that. Don't ever forget it. So, in marketing, your whole purpose, what does Amazon have to do, by the way? Everything, right? You think it started out with everything?
No.
The books, right? What do you think? This analogy right here, you think Bezos always wanted to sell only books, and that's why he moved from East Coast to the West Coast? And was spending billions of dollars of infrastructure to just sell books? Are you kidding me? He had in mind big things, but he wanted to get started with something that was going to sink into the mind of the customers, get them hooked, and then now we're talking. Then he moved on to what? CDs. Music CDs, right? CDs are gone out of business. Where you go? Well on his way. That's fear. In my business, this was the analytics tip. If I wanted to talk intelligently with a customer, if I wanted to talk something that would blow them away, I spoke analytics with that technology. And the customers didn't know because they were still trying to grapple with, I was just really speaking only 1 or 2 steps ahead of them. That's it. When I came across as an expert. Because I was talking, Nick really knows his stuff, his company must be, bleeding and cutting edge. That part of the business got me very little business initially. It's a very tiny amount. But that is what allowed me to differentiate myself from the rest of the competition. Most of my money came from right below, from here to here. The rest of the other services. The mundane services where there were dime a dozen competitors. But once I was able to get a customer, because if you're trying to land an account, you got to land the account, right? If you have 10 different services or products that you want to sell, you got to start with one. Am I right? Do we agree? Do we all agree? This is a mistake made by a lot of entrepreneurs. They try and sell everything. No. You've got to be able to differentiate yourself in a way that is sharp, unique, and to the point. So this, in a way, this pictorial talks about the way you are penetrating an account or trying to gain a hold of a customer's attention, but also talks in terms of that one particular thing may not be a money maker initially. Books was the money maker for Bezos, who's worth $140 billion today. You seriously think books and music was the money maker for him? He was losing money left, right, and center. Even after he went and did an IPO, he was still losing money. Wall Street kept on criticizing. It's only recently they started turning a profit. So you see, initially you won't make money, but in Bezos' case, he had hundreds of millions in funding lined up. Okay, we don't have hundreds of millions in funding. But the way to look at this is, your unique might only be getting a few dollars, but once you have captured someone, which happens to be the toughest thing to get a customer, right? Then you can sell other services which really get a lot more money, or make a lot more money for you. That's your bread and butter. But this is what allows you to differentiate yourself, and that's what marketing is all about. So with that said, let's go to the next slide. I'm going to talk about this process.
Can we take a picture?
Sure.
Can we get the slide?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
You can.
Is there something we can email to everyone?
I will PDF the presentation and email it to everyone in a couple of days after today. Okay?
Thank you.
So we're going to talk through all these boxes, okay? So yeah, I'm just presenting. We're going to go through all of them. And the point about marketing is that it is a process, number one. Number two, it is an iterative process. You don't get it right the first time, not necessarily. You might, if you're lucky. But most of the time, it's a loop, with the customer giving you the most important feedback. When I started my business, I started in something else, like Steve Jobs. It was something else completely, and from customer feedback, I realized I was completely in the wrong direction. When I started my business, and, it's kind of a funny story here. I do have ADD, so mind keeps on wandering, go down rabbit hole. But this one is pretty funny story. When I started this business, I left my company, and my mother-in-law swore that her daughter was going to be on the streets. She's going to be homeless. And I was the only great earner at the time. With 2 mortgages, the house and the car, 2 kids. But I was determined. When I started that business, from customer feedback, I realized I was barking at the wrong trees. I had to change direction. I was headed north. By the time I was done, I was headed south. South as in not monetarily, but in direction-wise from a business standpoint. But I wouldn't have known to go south until I had started to go north. You see what I'm saying? In business, there's a lot of fence-sitters, okay? And not until you enter the business are you going to start learning what the heck is going on. Otherwise, it's just research, you know? It's just theoretical. Right? When you jump in, you start realizing that this is working. And you got to be adaptable. Remember that PPAR? If you are adaptable, see what your customers are telling you. And I changed directions. So by the time I finished, I was completely going south, and that's when I sold the company. Okay. It was my mother-in-law no longer says her daughter is out of the, will be out of the streets. Now my wife insists on getting an X5 or whatever it is. It's like, where were you at that time? She was not supportive either. So it was a little stressful, but I chose to move ahead. Anyway, so we're going to go through these slides one by one. Okay. Now, let's take a look at this slide here. One of the fundamental, when I have gone in to diagnose some customers, not customers, entrepreneurs that have come to me for advice, one of the fundamental things that the common refrain that I tend to hear is, I need more money. Why? You need more money so I can market more. I want you to understand this. You guys remember Kodak, right? We spoke about it. Would more marketing dollars for Kodak help market its film business? No. Well, you see, now you know right away, right? Why? What happened? They were just fundamentally positioned wrong. Technology changed. Do you know that who invented the digital images? Correct. That same company. But they didn't want to cannibalize their film business. That employee had 20,000, company had 20,000 employees and several $billion in sales up until, what, just 10 years back. Now, God. What business is Walmart in, according to Sam Walton? You know Sam Walton? He's the founder of Walmart, right? This is all concerning marketing, okay, by the way. Believe it or not. What did Sam Walton say? He was asked when he was alive.
Low prices every day, no?
Low prices every day? Okay, that's what it was back then, right? Actually, it was the lowest price they started out with before they got sued. They changed it to low prices. Always the low prices. But he was asked that question. Anyone wants to take a guess what he said Walmart's business was? One answer is low prices. Anybody else? I'll put you guys to sleep. Come on. Is this a lively class or not?
What is something about smile?
Huh?
Smile or something?
About smiling?
Yeah, I think it was, I remember seeing Walmart, they just have smiley faces on them.
Smiley faces? Okay.
I think he went after the low income, the middle class, low income. He didn't worry about the rich because it was more, the mass was more out there, low income.
You're absolutely right. But what was the business they were in? If you were to ask, huh? What was the business? How would you describe Walmart's business according to Sam Walton?
I don't know according to him, but I would say logistics. That's really the differentiation.
Yeah.
Of the company.
Or household goods.
Everything correct, but the logistics was the answer Sam Walton gave. Walmart is in the business of logistics. Think about it for a minute, okay? If you're in the retail business, what are you going to be doing? You're going to be hiring retail people, you're going to be doing retail. You know, I've got to find a store, I've got to do this, right? But what allowed Walmart to have that low prices, right? The lowest price is what they started out with, was logistics. And he looked at that business as this is logistics, which the end product is retail. I sell it to the customer. How do I do it? I do it through a brick and mortar store. With that focus, with that perspective, and that's what I had in my business, okay? That is what differentiates what is called a successful business from an another business that becomes eventually unsuccessful. It is not luck, it's planned. And because he was in the business of logistics, he was all about sourcing the right vendor, to be able to get it out in time, to get it at the lowest price, and to be able to, they were the early adopters of this field called analytics. Walmart was the first one, Walmart and American Express. They wanted to know, in this particular area, not in Houston, right here in whatever this is, Brays, whatever this area is called, in this area, what sells more, okay, and deliver that product over there more than another Walmart store maybe on the other side of town, okay? That granularity only comes through a relentless focus on logistics. And then you got to be able to get that product coming from wherever it was, Vietnam, China, Bangladesh, wherever, to the store right here. What was Walmart's margins? Even today. They're at 400 billion, I don't know what billion they're at now, but they make what, 12 billion a year or 12, 15 billion, that's it. You might think that's big, but not on that particular volume. They're barely at 3 or 4% net margin. 3 or 4 net. I mean, think about it. If across the board they charge 3 cents less, boom, they're gone. That is a high wire balancing act, folks. And that happens because of logistics. Because Sam Walton looked at it as logistics. Now, what happened to this company right here? What business is this company in? This pointer doesn't work.
This,
Okay.
this
I'm sorry?
Just point it here.
Oh, no, I'm looking at the that laser pointer.
Oh yeah, it's dim.
I
Sorry.
guess it's on. Okay, no, never mind. So what business is this business in? Amazon. Sorry? Anybody else wants to defer with that? Right. Arbitrage, yeah, I mean, they are in the business of fundamentally of logistics. That's it. Once you have defined your business that way, now it doesn't matter how I'm going to sell. Whether it's a website or a brick and mortar or anything, I'm now relentlessly focused on building those delivery centers and stocking centers and sourcing it from. That's how my business mentality is. That's how I'm hiring. That's how I'm creating my infrastructure. Everything changes. They're no longer retail. Guess who lost that message along the way after Sam Walton passed away?
Walmart.
Thank you. Adaptable, remember? Did someone talk about adaptability? It happens all the time. Trust me, this stuff it sneaks up on you. What business is Starbucks in? You think it says Starbucks coffee. Are they in a coffee business?
Real estate.
I mean, why do you go to Starbucks? How many of you buy coffee from Starbucks? There's a bunch of them. Some of you would like to put your hands up, but maybe a little embarrassed. You like one of the more expensive ones here about it. I'm just kidding. Why do people buy from Starbucks when you can get that same darn coffee, actually a better coffee that you can brew at home? For no more than 10 cents a cup. And you go out there and spend whatever, $1.50, $2 for what? Because someone's convinced you that this is a lifestyle. Why do you buy a Nike pair of shoes for $300? Did you last flown like Jordan after buying Nike shoes? Did any of you? I mean, I'd like to know if you flew like Jordan.
Yes.
You have? So what am I? Someone did. All right. So, what business are you in? So what would Nike say they're in the business of? They're in the business of brainwashing. He says marketing for Nike. They never had manufacturing. Okay? They used to get it all third-party outsourced. They all designed. They used to say, well, Michael Jordan, okay, now where do we put this and what color do we have here, and LeBron James, and so on and so forth. That's all they do. They don't even have stores. Well, they have a few flagship stores, and that's about it. So if you look at yourself as a design company in that case, and this one as a lifestyle company, your focus on the way you look at things changes completely. Just want to make sure I'm doing fine on time. Gallery Furniture, our hometown hero. What business are they in? What do you think? Sorry?
Furniture.
Furniture, okay. You're right. I mean, see, it's not like you're not right, but it's like that's the difference between that sphere, a pointed or a blunt, okay? Mattress Mackinwell early on realized, what did he do to blow out the competition? You all remember Montgomery Ward in the store? What happened? What happened? They're all selling furniture. What used to happen when you went and ordered a couch or a table or whatever it was? What happened? Good time. Got a back order slip, right? Remember Mattress Mac going there, no back order slip? And he kept on harping on it, right? Delivers today. How do you think he delivered it today? Logistics. Analytics can be not. That's what we need to manage. But yeah, you're on the right path. Logistics, folks. Get that one same day is not easy. Okay, you got to stock the right SKU and the right, etc. You get the point. So the way you look at your business can influence a great deal whether you're going to succeed or you're just going to stumble along or you'll fail. Are we in agreement?
Yes.
Thank you. So the first step, therefore, in that whole marketing exercise is you've got to define your product or service. A lot of folks get this, no, I wouldn't say a lot. Companies that struggle get this part wrong right here. So when I was in my business, I was not just on IT services. When companies used to ask me, I'm in the analytics business. What percentage of my business was analytics? Remember that spear, that tip of the spear? Just a teeny weeny, but that's what I was talking.
That's what rules the rest.
I'm sorry?
That's what rules the rest.
That's where the other stuff will follow. But I have to make my entry somehow with a sharp, pointed spear. So you got to define your product or service in the right way. So if you are in the logistics, now this is internal. Okay, what you tell your customers, like at Walmart, they were not telling customers we are in the business of logistics. No, they were talking about we are all about low prices. So one of the fundamental things you have to keep in mind when you define your product or service, okay, that's one color I'm giving. Okay, another color is are any of you realtors out here? Typically, in some clients, there's always I'm not saying negative. Okay, I almost got a realtor license myself once, but I had a client. He was a realtor. He was struggling. He was on the east side, southeast part of town, and he was selling houses like in the between 100 to 200,000. And you know what realtors are, right? Their whole business is to try and get a listing. You agree? Because that's how they, name brand themselves and try and get in front of you. I'm going to just close the door, please. So they want a listing. Once they get the listing, they know they can get the money, right? Because to try and get a customer who's looking for a house, boy, that's a tedious process. You got to go through 20 houses, and out of those 10, the man doesn't like 10, and the wife doesn't like the other 10. Now you got to go to the 21st house. That kind of for the realtor, that kind of sucks. Pardon my phrase. So they always go and look for listings. So this realtor was, I won't discussed how much money he was making. But he was like, this is what I'm doing and I'm struggling. And I said, look, looking at it the wrong way. You're not really a realtor. You just didn't know it. I said, with this kind of a pricing segment that you are at, you could be looking at a completely different market. And he said, how do you mean? I said, this is all I know. I said, that's okay. In this particular pricing segment that you're talking about, there are investors who are interested in buying houses. And then I went through this whole process, and what I explained to him was, I'm going to bring it, summarize it. We had him repositioned to becoming a consultant to investors. You guys, any of you have rent houses? Would you like to buy another rent house for a good price? No? You're sick and tired. You're tired of all those calls. But there are a lot of investors who love to accumulate rent houses. Am I right? It makes money, right? So I told him he needs to reposition himself as a consultant to investors to help them make money. You think those investors love to hear that? I'm going to make you money. If someone told you all that, wouldn't you love to hear that? That's what he started doing. And so he repositioned his business to cater to investors. And instead of chasing listings, he was now identifying houses, and he knew that area pretty darn well, that when a house came on the market, or even before it came on the market, he was able to get a hold of investors, and before long, he had investors clamoring and saying, hey, can you not just blast that email and just give me a call first? Because I'd like to get that first shot at the property. Exactly 1 year later, his income in the first 1 month was more than what it was in the entire 12 previous months, okay? Just by repositioning himself. Define your product or service. Now his service is no longer, I gotta go and find another listing. It's now all about making an investor more money. And therefore, put that investor in touch with some rehabbers, remodelers, finance folks. He accumulated that whole thing. I told him this is what you need to do. He had the elements of it. I just helped him put it together. Because I'm looking at it differently. That's my brain. Like I said, I got ADD. So when you ask me a question, I sometimes lose the last part of your question. So you need to identify a niche, unmet need, right? Solve a problem or add capacity to meet demand. I mean, this is, for most of us, you have to find something your product and service is going to address some of these things, okay? One of these things. There might be others. In Apple's case, in Steve Jobs' case, unmet need that even we didn't know we needed. We didn't know we needed that iPod that soft touch, did we? So there are some who will have that clairvoyance, if you would, the ability to tell what you need without you knowing that first. Once you have done that, now list the features that you would need to have in your product or service that takes care of these right here. But it is important now, again, are you in the logistics business or are you in the retail business? Okay, that's important. Are you in, like in my case, am I in the analytics business or am I in some other IT services business? I'm now in the analytics business, even though it was no more than 5% of my revenue. Eventually, it became much more than 5%, but to start off, I had barely 1 or 2% out of that. So I was at about 6 or 7 million in revenue when I started repositioning my company. And I did it, let me tell you, out of paranoia, that I'm going to go out of business if I don't. And so that's why I was always back against the wall. There's competition, I gotta keep running, In this business, if you guys are going to start a business, just beware of one-time customers, okay? What do I mean by that? Anyone? What's wrong with one-time customers?
Very high price on acquisition.
Sorry?
Very high price on acquisition.
Very high price on acquisition, excellent. It's if it's going to be one and done, right? Now you got to start that hunting another customer all over again. I talk about this in all my classes, and guess what? I get people at the school are coming to me with business models that have exactly this in mind. There was a fine couple, really liked them. There's African Americans from Atlanta. They're going to Morehouse College in Spelman and all that stuff. Very articulate, very genius people. They had moved from there to Houston, and you know what business they were in? They wanted to get in. Their business was all going to be about organizing special events on special occasions. I said, what do you mean exactly by that? And they said, couples have
Like
25th
festivals.
wedding anniversary.
Like festivals.
Oh, no, not festivals. We're talking about special events of these individuals, families. So 25th wedding anniversary, 50th wedding anniversary, the person turns 50 or stuff like that. Now, what do you see wrong with that?
It's a turnkey project.
Sorry?
They do the turnkey project
They do, but what's wrong with that?
because they don't repeat. The customer don't repeat.
Yeah. How many times
Yeah,
are they
one
going to
time.
turn 50 years old?
They have one time.
How many times they're going to have the 25th wedding anniversary,
One time.
right? You never call this guy, these people again. I mean, everything nice. You did a beautiful job. I saw their stuff that they would bring, the silverware. It was beautiful, but just in the wrong business. And I told them, look, I'll give you advice on what you can do, but fundamentally, I believe you need to reposition yourself. After that, I quit mentoring. I'm not sure what happened, but this is an example. There's another two girls. They were ex-veterans who got together and started a business. And they came to me for mentoring. And I helped them. Even though I told them that just, look, I'll help you. You know what business they were in? Used bridal gown business. I mean, I'm saying it used, but they call it change. When brides use a bridal gown, it's gently used, right? It's one and done, right? So they were in that business, and you would think that there's a good market for that, right? Because you could sell that same gown at a sharply discounted price. And there is demand. The problem, what is the problem with that? Well, no, hold on. Look, I keep saying, one and done.
Design.
How many times does that bride is going to become a bride again now?
No.
Every month? You need that person coming back every month, every week. You think they're going to get married every single week? No, they're not going to be married every single week. There's something wrong with that business model. So, please be aware of that.
Isn't that very popular now, like gown rental or something like that? That people get married actually instead of buying.
You're right, tuxedo rentals and all is a profitable business. The thing is that when you're starting a business, you've got to have the capacity to do a lot of marketing. Okay? A lot of
Position the market.
Sorry?
Position in the market.
But to get
be
position,
able to get their referral and their recurrent buyer, not just a one shot.
so
Say depends on the market study that you did before, right? If you did some MPP, kind of tested the market and stuff like that. I guess it all.
you're absolutely right.
Now the rate of divorce is too high.
Well, let's come back to this. If you have $500,000 to advertise, or $1 million, then you're good to go. So tuxedo rentals is a profitable business, okay? Because it costs a bomb. It doesn't take a whole lot to just put it back And during this, when you have that, what am I saying, the class, the high school, prom, thank you. It's very profitable, that business. But where do you go to? You don't go to just some local Joe Blow across the street, right? You're going to go through some established company that you've heard of that name again and again. And it takes a lot of money to get to that familiarity. Okay? So when you're starting a business, I'm talking about starting a business, for most of us, that is a luxury we don't have. Then you define your target market. So when you're defining a target market, let's say you have, let's take the case of Amazon. What do you think was the early, when you first started out, what was their target market?
The consumers.
Just books, book readers.
Okay, students with book readers, right? Yeah, books. Good point. You got to narrow it down a little bit more. So you identified one key demographic, which was students. So why did you say students? Because they were storing all kinds of books, even novels and stuff like that, right? So why did you say students? Textbooks, okay. I thought you were on to something there, but the point, I'll get to that in a minute. Who are the ones who are likely to buy books online at that point in time? It's not, most of us were not comfortable buying books online at that point, were we?
Yeah.
Remember that at that time there was Waters, Barnes and Noble, Bookstop, they were all around, right? Just around from you. In beautiful settings and so on and so forth. Why would you want to now just want to buy that same, lose out on that experience and just buy it on the internet? You got to think about that for a minute, right? No, hold on. You are not selling anything cheaper, okay? You are selling about the same. You are selling the original. Those are controlled by the publisher when the prices got to be.
Convenience of not going to the store.
So the target market were, you're right, of those who wanted convenience. That's your target market right there. Who were wanting to buy books, right? So you have to identify your target market as those who are likely to, those that you want to target. And we're going to get a little bit more specific eventually, but let's start with that first. You figure out what your market size is, by the way. All this research, market size, what are the demographics, and so on and so forth. You can go to University of Houston libraries, and they have some awesome ability to do a lot of research that you and me on the internet can't. Okay, because they are proprietary databases, those are subscription databases that you can access. So if you want to know in this zip code, how many people between the ages of 45 to 55 who happen to be, whatever, white, African American, with 2 kids, that's where you got to go. Another resource you can go to is SBDC, Small Business Development Center. Thank you. Out on Fannin, it's a collaboration of UFX and SBA. Okay, they have the research too. Yes.
I was going to add that HCC also has libraries. This campus doesn't have a library, but there is the Stafford campus, West Loop, and many central campus libraries. So any larger, this is only one building, but if you see a college campus that has multiple buildings for HCC, you'll find a HCC library there, and the librarians there could also give you the same access to the large data sets that U of H has. And I'm a lifetime Coug. I love U of H, but sometimes the drive there, I'd rather go closer to my home. Just a plug for HCC libraries. That's another source for you.
Also, you just go to the HCC library and talk to the librarian?
Yes, that would be, yeah. And then you also have public libraries. So Harris County, Fort Bend, those are another. I'm sure you were going to get.
Do they have access to the online databases?
All of these librarians now have access through these grant money. Everybody's got access to these large data sets.
So did everyone get that? I mean, you're trying to access these online databases to get your research on market size. If you are going to apply for a business loan, for example, okay? If you're going to the bank or whatever, they're going to expect you to have done this research. Okay? This marketing, what we are going through right now, is a key part of your business plan. That is going to drive all the what it's going to cost and so on and so forth in your budgets. Be aware of possible disruptions and barriers to entry. It's kind of self-explanatory, but I'll come to that in the next segment, next slide. But this technology that we talked about, CARV, right? It's hugely disruptive. So this right here, defining your target market, can be a little tricky sometimes because of the way this technology is evolving. One good example might be, for example, I mentioned truckers, right? And that the trucking industry is about to undergo a revolutionary change. In about 15 to 20 years, most of the trucks that are going to be on the road by these big trucking companies, they're going to be automated. And if they're automated, and they're just going from point A to point B, do they need to take a bathroom break? Do they need to stop for a hamburger or sleep? So what happens to those diners and motels along the way that cater to truckers? Right? So when you are if you're a diner or one of those guys who are now catering to those trucks, this would be the time to sell that business very quickly. Maybe somebody else doesn't know what I just told you, they buy that business. Is that bad? I mean, that's what happens all the time. But someone has been informed and someone is well read, and was able to get out while the going was still good. This happens all the time. So in the case of diners or motels, you got to know what target you're going after, given the fact that truckers might cease to be on the road after a while. So do you want to have a motel that caters to truckers, for example? Right? Because those motels that cater to truckers, typically if I'm on the road, I don't want to be in that motel or hotel. I don't want to be dealing with these 18-wheeler rigs. So there are motels that cater specifically to the rigs and the truckers. So be careful about your possible disruptions. Yes.
So in your example, right, in IT business, so you saw data analytics coming along as a potential disruption. So how did you go about sort of like pivoting and targeting customers who might not see that need coming because it's a disruption, but you see it coming, right? So how did you identify those possible customers and then sell them something that is essentially coming, but it's not a reality?
That's a good question. I did not create the demand, okay, number one. The customer started hearing. What I only did was I read early articles that were published by these well-known groups. There were a couple of them well-known. And I saw that this technology is going to grow in terms of what it can do. So I started positioning myself. So I did not create the demand. And when customers started to realize that, hey, we need analytics because of certain things within their company, they got this massive amounts of data, and they have to have the ability to have analytics, when they realized that they needed it, that's when I was talking to them. So I was not talking to customers before they knew that they wanted analytics. I was way too small to be able to, to be a Steve Jobs, to tell customers what they need before they realize what they need. I wasn't in that. Did I answer your question? So it was afterwards, only afterwards when but I knew this is where the train was headed. I knew this is where the road was headed. And I decided to jump on it and position because I'm a consulting company and I have to be able to be on the leading edge. Skills that the internal company does not, the company does not have internally. Does that make sense? Now when they want to adopt that technology, guess what? None of the IT people inside that company know that stuff. Whereas I am able to talk that stuff. And I might have a few consultants who already know that. Just a few. That was enough. That's how I was able to get entry into a lot of corporations. And with those companies, by the way, eventually Hewlett-Packard became one of our biggest accounts, but it started with analytics. Eventually it became a $20 million account. I mean, I got bought out, and that other company grew it even more to a $20 million account. But it started with a small little seed. Next step. So you have identified your product or service, right? You have identified your target market. Now you have to identify your ideal customer because that's who you want to go after and reach. So in Amazon's case, we said that it's going to be those who are willing to buy online, right? Or who want to order books and are willing to try online, right? So an ideal customer in the case of Amazon was, see at that time, when Amazon started selling books, ordering books online, sight unseen was not something people did. So to get going, in technology, they always have this thing called early adopters. So some latest technology comes out, you'll find, you always find amongst your friend group, somebody who jumped onto it first. I'm one of those who will not jump on it first. Like, let somebody else test it out. Let it, whatever get debugged, then I want to buy version 3.0. That's it. So let somebody else do all that stuff. They wanted these early adopters. That was their ideal customer. So you need to find out your ideal customer, what their needs and beliefs are, and identifying purchasing habits. Key point over here that's not on the slide is something called psychographics. So there's demographics, and then there's psychographics. We all know what demographics is, right? So demographics is whatever, income so-and-so, ethnicity so-and-so, and all that stuff. Psychographics are the way people in that group think. I'll give you an example. I had a client, a chiropractor, her practice was inside the Loop, in the Montrose area. And her target markets were those who were affluent and who were well educated, and who, this is now at least 6 years back. Okay, 2009. Yeah, at least 7 to 8 years back. When organic was not as popular as it is today. It had caught on, but it was not widespread like you see it is today. So I sat with her and I started to understand her customer, and it turns out that her customers were into. I said, what do they like? What do they like to eat? She said, what has that got to do with chiropractic? I said, everything. And then we went through that exercise and she realized the importance. So, as an example, the target market was affluent. Yes, check. But I wanted to know, how did they think? Do they buy organic? Okay, yep, they buy organic. Do they, and some more questions along those lines. What kind of cars do they drive? She was like really, eyes were like boring into me, like, where the hell is he headed? I'm talking about chiropractic, he's talking about cars. And so she explained to me what cars. I said, I want to know what cars. Just work with me a little bit. And she said they drive Range Rovers and stuff like that. Okay. It turns out now there are two target markets right there. Okay, one is the River Oaks crowd, and then there's the university crowd. You familiar with the areas? Right? So the River Oaks crowd at that time was not into organic and save the planet and all that stuff. Okay, they still are for the most part. Whereas you go south of 59 and it is all save the planet and organic and everything. Do away with plastics and so on and so forth. Both are affluent. The average house price in the university area is around 4 or 5 million, about what it is in River Oaks. But the thinking between those two groups is very different. Okay. And her group, it turns out, was that crowd right there. The university crowd, not the River Oaks crowd. How did it make a difference? I said, well, when you start, she had a social media web page. I said, now Thanksgiving is coming. And she was posting about how she treated this patient, that patient. I said, look, on social media, by the way, people don't want to go there and know about your services. FYI. Why do you go on social media? Number one, to be entertained. This is not me talking. Okay? This is what the experts will tell you. I said, you got to have entertaining stuff on there. Entertaining and informative. So Thanksgiving was coming up, and I said, well, let's go ahead and post your favorite grandmother's organic pumpkin pie recipe. I said, grandmom did have a favorite blah blah blah. I said, invent a grandmom and put it. Just listen to me and let's get to the program here. So, I mean, and she did. Up until that time, she was just getting likes. But you see in Facebook, I don't know what the algorithm is now, share and comments are much more indicative of the popularity of that particular post, and therefore advantage. So that favorite recipe, organic, blah blah blah, became popular amongst her whole group. See, psychographics. People wanted an organic pumpkin pie come Thanksgiving. Are you with me? The River Oaks crowd don't care about that. Oh, they want to just buy something from outside. We're going to have some catering service come and make it. Psychographics. That's the difference. That influences the way you are targeting customers, the way you are advertising to them, the way you are appealing to them, everything. I'll give you another example. There was another client I had sometime back. The husband and wife team teaching math and science. And they were teaching in the disadvantaged schools in the Aldine Independent School District area, okay, which is academically was behind. And at one time, the state or federal, I don't remember, this was several years back, they were giving something like the equivalent of $7,000 or $8,000 to those who were training kids to be able to get up to speed. Okay? And the problem was they were targeting parents. They were having a hard time. So let's go back to this ideal customer. Okay? So the target market was these African Americans. They're all African Americans over there, whose kids were failing. With me so far? The problem was they were having a hard time getting those parents to call back, even though their kids needed help. So I said, well, the way to do that is in this particular case, this particular program was such that the state was giving incentives to the schools. If those schools recovered in terms of those tests, then the schools could benefit. So I said, you need to start going and talking to the assistant principal. What are the needs of that principal and assistant principal? Guess what? Those assistant principals want those kids in that class. Okay? Because why? They want their incentive, their jobs, and everything is on the line there. So anyone who's got a fire under their quote-unquote butt, they will attack. So demographic market correctly identified. Ideal customers, though, it turned out to be assistant principals. When they went to the assistant principal, guess what? Assistant principal, yep, because it doesn't cost them a dime. They know that this thing is a real program, and they were the ones who were now telling the parents when they came, right? Your kids need to attend this class. You think those kids started attending class? It was a very profitable program. I couldn't believe how much money there was, but to the extent that they were able to give a free Apple laptop and so on and so forth. But I mean, I digress. The point is, you got to know what their wants, needs, and beliefs are. Beliefs. University crowd, right? Psychographic. Drives your psychographic profiling and therefore your social media campaign. If you get that wrong, you're not, you're just posting meaningless posts on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is this useful so far?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Once you have identified your ideal customer, now you have to identify your competition. In competition, I talked to you about CARVE before. This is very critical now over here. There's direct and then there's indirect. A lot of folks tend to focus on the direct. Am I right? Kodak was focusing on Fujifilms. And they got blown out of the water by iPhone. Where the hell did this come from? Right? Motels that I mentioned earlier, diners along the highway, catering to truckers. This would be a good time to start selling. Now, who do they think their competition is? They're going to think their competition is the fellow diner, whatever, 5 miles down the road, right? Or across the highway. That's not their competition. There's a technology disruptor barreling down the highway at them. Indirect competition, folks. I had a client, she actually even won, Singapore recently had these business plan competitions. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. I'm sure HCC posted too, right? That 1 year, all the first place, 3 different categories. My clients won first place. That was one of my sweet years. So anyway, this one particular client has this business that is in the business of arranging for truckers to maximize their loads. Okay, that's a big deal for truckers. These are independent truckers. When they're going from Houston to wherever, San Diego, California, now from San Diego they need to be able to fill, otherwise they're going empty. That is bad for business. So then they get from some load that is going, and then they're only part load, maybe 1/3 truck. Now what am I going to do with 2/3? So you got to identify who is wanting to ship. Okay, maybe from San Diego they want something going to Phoenix. So can you drop it to Phoenix? Okay, and someone wants to take it to Las Vegas. Okay, right in Vegas. So you got to plan the whole itinerary for these folks. Okay, that's the business you know them. You think that this automated trucks that are coming down the road are indirect competition to her? Eventually, right? Eventually,
They would have to have the technology for that. So this particular company that are
you're right to some extent because the big logistics company are the ones who are going to go for it first. The problem with that is when the big one's going for it first, it's going to lower pricing across because now you don't have human beings, you don't have workman's comp to deal with, you don't have insurance to pay, benefits to pay. Do you think that's going to affect the independent trucker too? And that's going to affect my client's business, right? So this will be a good time for to sell that business. As yet, none of you knew about this, right? That business is about to get disrupted. See how little that knowledge is. Where did I get that knowledge from, by the way? Sorry? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. You can look it up. I didn't invent it. If you want to know another good business right now, you know what is the highest building can be built with wood? What's your guess? What's your guess? Come on. How many floors? With wood. Entirely wood. No RC. This building was built with steel. That's how it was built.
So what was the question?
What is the tallest? How many floors you can go with just wood?
Five.
One story?
I'm just asking.
No.
Solid. Yeah, solid wood.
5, 6.
5, 6 stories?
Yeah.
That's way off, folks. It is 9. Now they have just signed on the American Society something. You can go up to 18 stories of wood.
Is there gonna be work for?
Sorry?
Is there gonna be a job for terminators to eliminate the termites?
No, well, yeah, maybe. But these are now 18 stories they're going to grow. It turns out they perform even better than RCC and steel. They're cheaper. People love to look at, if you were to see wood going all the way there, and wood going this way, and wood, I think you'd like it, right? It becomes warm. They have found those buildings are more warmer. It is made from this laminated wood. They take these laminated wood boards and they go this way, that way. It's a German technology. And consequently, a column this wide performs as good as RCC. Now, why did I say this? Because if you are an architect that can specialize in designing these kind of wooden structures, you're going to be ahead of the game. Now, this was known to me, 2 years back. I knew that. It just got announced in the Houston Chronicle last week. If you're an architect, that's big plus for you. If you are in the business of doing investments, East Texas, you could have bought 500 acres of wood. That's going to grow in popularity. There's going to be big demand coming. Because why that wood, constructing buildings with wood is cheaper than RCC and steel.
I know NASA is currently doing a process with their scientists using wood, but they put in some type of solution and grind it and put a solution in it, and then they're using that to fabricate up. So
Something related, but this one is laminated wood. You can look it up. Cross laminate the whole thing is now stronger. So that has when I say disruptive stuff, it's disruptive if you are not aware of it. But if you are aware of it and take advantage of it, you can make money. Right? You can be the first person, like I was in analytics. So if there's an architect firm and they're keeping track of it all along with the technology in Germany, right? Even before the American whatever society approved it, there's one architect firm that's ahead of the pack right now. And Heinz, you heard of Heinz, right? They're going in for those 10 and 18 story buildings. They find this to be very promising. If Heinz is going for it, I bet you it's coming. So identify competition. Oh, I can give a more indirect competition through examples, but we'll stop right here. Any questions on this so far? So this indirect is the biggest thing that you have to take into account today. Okay? You got to take into account the direct and understand what your strengths and weaknesses are with respect to the direct competition. And remember I talked about strategic and tactical, short-term, long-term. Remember that? So when you are looking at a short-term, you look at direct competition, because the indirect is coming because of technological change and advancements, right? So that can be the strategic part that you can focus on. Okay, it's coming down the road. I know it's coming down the road, but for now, if I'm going to open up a hair salon, I just want to know what other hair salons are charging and what exactly can they do and what do I need to do differently. By the way, if you're going to be anyone in the hair salon business, nobody. Class, I don't know, what business are you guys in? I'm sorry. Usually there's a realtor, there's a hair salon person. I'm sorry, what business are you in?
I'm in a women club and he does it.
No. So there's technology now available where if someone walks through the door, you can take their picture and show them what their new haircut will look like. Okay? And if they're coming for nails, you can take pictures of their hand and put all these different nails from the palette, and they'll be able to see exactly what their hand will look like. Okay? Now, how cool would that be for women, right? You know exactly what you're going to look like. You don't have to experiment. Now, those who adopt this technology, guess what? You think they're going to kill the competition? They might even be able to charge more. That's how you charge more and get away with it. So, advantages of being well read. I'm sorry?
Do you have any hint for health insurance and Medicare?
There might be something, I don't know. These are just stuff I'm aware of. Okay. So once you have identified your competition, you have understood your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, now you come and distill it down to what is unique about you. Remember, you might have 10 services or 10 products. Remember the sphere. What I want to know is that the top end of, if you can get the whole sphere to be unique value proposition, nothing like it. If all you're doing is that service which is unique, beautiful. But even if you have 10 services, and then there's one that's going to stand out from the rest of the competition, identify that. That can be a unique value proposition is what you go to customers with. Assuming the customers want that, okay? So unique value proposition or unique selling proposition, you see that on the internet or in textbooks, they're one and the same. Okay? So the unique value proposition, you should be able to tell within 30 seconds, elevator speech they call it, right? You heard of that? Elevator speech about your company? You should be able to tell within 30 seconds as to why you and not somebody else, without putting down someone else. Within 30 seconds. So once you have done this exercise, you will get to this point. And your unique value could be a quality, or performance, or service. It's going to be something. It says price over there. I'll be a little bit careful. You do not want to ever compete based on the lowest price in the market. Okay? That is the surest way to go out of business. People who don't know what they're doing will price it low. I had to resist a great deal when I had my company to price lower than the competition. And I had to be lower than Accenture, which was a huge company, and IBM. So they had the brand, I did. Otherwise, if I price it the same, they'll go, well, they're going to go with IBM. But I couldn't go too low. If I went too low, what do you think is going to happen in the mind of the customer?
Not worth it. Not worth it.
Low quality.
See, the pricing has a very profound, they'll demand it, and if you really give in, you're going to get categorized a little different. That is going to be the downfall of your branding, right there. So, coming back to the sphere. Now you know that your entryway, your USP, something unique, is what's allowing you to gain entry into the customer's mind. Does that make sense now?
Absolutely.
The sphere. If you are not spear shaped and you are blunt, it's going to be hard to get business. You could be a hair salon, and let's say you are doing something special with hair. Something, I don't know what, I'm not an expert in hair salon. But you go out there and talk about that, assuming ladies want that. And you might be doing other stuff too, the normal stuff, the shampoo and all that coloring and all that cutting and this and that, but that's not where the money is, right? That's a commodity business, just about. So you talk about that right there, and you can stand out from the rest of the competition. This is what you're going to brand yourself. This is what you're going to advertise yourself. And oh, by the way, we also do this. Once you got the customer through the doors, then you can cross-sell them into something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can. And that is the selling talent, which is the other part of branding. But if you have marketing down and you have branded yourself right, the selling becomes actually easy. When you go to a BMW dealership, okay, if we do, or Mercedes or whatever, are we buying that car because the salesman convinced us to buy it?
No.
Thank you. That's the brand. BMW and Mercedes and all that develop the brand. Oh, really? And that? Okay. Thank you. That leads you to brand image. The brand image is the collection of all these things that leads you to the brand image. There are many other slides still to come, but this is the gist of marketing, okay? If you walk away from this class with nothing more than that sphere and well read, and that USP, you will have gotten a great deal out of this class. It's pretty complex over here, brand image, your logo, color. Now you're going to go and someone and give them whoever the logo designers are, this is what my brand needs to represent. So Apple, you've got the clean. Apple used to be multiple colors. Those stores have to look clean and simple, right? It comes across as something cool. Because Apple, Steve Jobs wanted the cool factor. And therefore, that's why he charges a lot more for the iPhone. Or he did. They still do. Apple makes around, what, $120 billion in profit every single year. You think that's the power of branding? Very much so. Very much. Apple makes more on their smartphone in profits than all the other smartphones in the world combined. That's how much profitable they are. Because of branding. Because of marketing. 4 P's of marketing, you'll hear about that in textbooks. The right P, which is the product, that's what we talked about. Sold at the right price, placement, promotion. Okay, let's go through those quickly. So we discussed this part, this P. Okay, that's what we were discussing. Product or service. Okay, price. Pricing is something that's going to be the byproduct of all your research that you have done. And I talked about this low pricing caution. Just be aware of that, please. I just want to give you a little bit of a flavor as to how this thing evolved. You know, BMW, right? I talked about BMW Audi. Those of you who are my age, do you remember back in the 80s, Audi had a huge PR nightmare. Y'all remember that?
Had what?
Public relationship nightmare.
Oh, public
They were featured on 60 Minutes. The car would suddenly accelerate, trying to kill somebody, ran into the garage, and run over someone. And this was like happened not with one, multiple people. They all swore that they were pressing hard on the brake, but that thing had a mind of its own. Audis right through the almost fell off the cliff. This happened to Audi. Okay? BMW was known for a car that ran like a clunker and cost a bomb to maintain. It was very expensive to maintain. You think BMWs were popular in the 70s and 80s? They were not. What happened? So these Germans, what they did was, I'm coming back to this pricing, they realized Toyota at that time was beginning to gain steam in the US. You may remember that. Toyota, whatever, Corona, all that stuff started coming in. And they realized that they could not start underpricing or playing price catch up with the Japanese. And they are always going to be at the high end because Germany has some values. Okay? You might criticize that, but they believe they want to make sure that the workers are well paid and they got to have a good lifestyle, 35 or 36-hour work week, and all that good stuff. Highly educated, they wanted to make sure, and therefore BMW or Audi or Mercedes could not hope to compete based on price. What did they do? They took the high road. They branded themselves so relentlessly to the top. Remember? Engineered for performance, those taglines suddenly started appearing on TV. BMW would overhaul its entire product line. Audi overhauled its entire product line. Today, everybody would love BMW and Audi. Am I right? What happened? Same cars that were on the roads, automakers, reinvented themselves, priced themselves high. And I've owned like several BMWs for a period of time. They're the most expensive cars to maintain. But then darn things are always going to be, something is breaking with it. To such an extent that I've now switched over to a Lexus. We don't figure in the top 5 quality surveys. BMW or Audi or Mercedes. But they price to the highest. How is that, you say? It's happening, folks. People would love to buy those cars. Am I right? Stupid. Marketing is why we buy $2 Starbucks cup, right? Marketing, folks. Branding works. Okay? They did some tweaks here and there, and they came across as something that was, very beautifully engineered. The trouble is that those cars are expensive. They break down. Pricing. So that's why that's important, this pricing, to understand where your pricing is going to come from and where you need to be at. Place has multiple connotations now here. It could be as simple as if you're in the retail business and you're at this side of the street or that side of the street. And there's a lot of stuff behind that. It could also mean whether you want to be virtual, i.e. online strictly, or brick and mortar, like Amazon is strictly online, or actually they are opening up stores that are brick and mortar too. If you want to have distribution partners, for example, like if you're going to stock it at HCC, your product, you have to go through distributors. So these are all where are you going to place? If you are in the services business, you got to have partners. If you are even in nail salons, I don't care. Maybe find a complementary business to you and start promoting each other. Lower your cost of marketing and get more marketing for the bang of the buck. Does that make sense? That's placement. So who are your channel partners, for example? All that falls into the P. These days, there's a lot of these pop-up stores. Be aware of that. That's low cost. So for a startup business, if you are in the retail side, that's pretty darn good. Trade fairs, church bazaars, these are all, you can come to SCORE. It's impossible for me to cover all this stuff over here. And there are people in sales and marketing who specialize in that can help you. Okay? And then you promote it. That's the advertising part. Or it can be word of mouth. It can be referrals. All those things. Referrals are the most important part. So now you see that this website and social media, if you have your branding, your brand image correctly, only then do you know what to say on your social media website, right? Whether it's Instagram or Facebook. When you know the psychographics of your customer, will you know what to say? Am I right? So this eventually becomes easier once you have gone through that initial exercise. This, in the end, becomes easier. Low-cost promotions, yeah, we talk about it. SCORE now and then runs a low-cost marketing lunch and learn for 1 hour. So just keep a lookout for it. Referrals is your best way to for low-cost promotion and networking. So this slide in the end, what's it saying? It's saying that from what you thought the customers wanted, you came up with a product or service, you defined it, you identified your target market, you identified your ideal customer, you identified the competition, which led you to your unique value proposition. You with me so far? That in turn led you to what your brand image was all about. And taking that brand image now, you can start promoting it, pricing it right, and placement. Well, this whole thing, okay, all these arrows are going every which way. Understand that the feedback, this feedback is coming back to all these boxes here, and accordingly you're going to adjust. The most important feedback loop is this right here. It's iterative, okay? Just because you got that brand image right or whatever it's not right, well, go back and start again. And you'll notice that all products that are out there in the market, the successful ones, over a period of time, reinvent themselves, okay? And they're doing this based on shifting customer demand. You guys have heard of H&M? Remember. What is the differentiation of H&M? By now you should know. Logistics. What do they do? It's fast fashion, right? Am I right? How do they get to fast fashion? Logistics. I don't want to be sounding trite, but it used to be like companies like Brays and all to place their order for winter somewhere in May with their suppliers. That's how it worked. So they had to have a 6-month lead time, and they're talking about some massive logistics chain right there. So then the supplier had to do this, blah, 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 get it from their sub-supplier. H&M invented this art of fast fashion because customers' feedback was they want something, like those tastes kept on changing. And they came out with a much more sophisticated logistics process that allowed them within 6 weeks or 8 weeks max of seeing a new trend to be able to get it out into the store. That's pretty hard. H&M has been enormously successful at that and has eaten lunch of stores like Macy's and what have you. So, are we done?
No.
Yeah, very done. So what are the 3 things, main takeaways? Apart from logistics. Remember the sphere concept, okay? Because it's impossible to really implement marketing just with this two options. I won't say it's impossible. You might get it right. Be aware of these things. You've got to be able to define your business right. If you get that wrong, then everything else goes wrong. And then finally, read and adapt, please. Remember those 3 things. Any questions?
Don't mean to extend this, but well-read means different things to different people, right? So to you, can you share with us your insight or input? How often you read, or what do you focus your reading on? Is it just your industry, or do you broaden your mind to essentially anything other than Houston Chronicle and Wall Street Journal?
I broaden my mind to everything. mean, I'm just a voracious reader. I just read all the time. But in my case, like real estate, I'll be reading closely. I want to know what laws are coming down the pipe from federal government, state government, city government, because just on that, and knowing, you know, like Harvey flooding took place, right? Houston Chronicle published extensive maps of the flood zones. Just knowing that, you know where the hell to buy a house and where not. I've been able to make money just on reading the Houston Chronicle for real estate. So, if you are focused on business in the Houston area, let's say your business is really local, Houston Chronicle is your go-to newspaper. It costs about $55 a month. Let me tell you, it may sound expensive. Ignorance is a lot more expensive. You can go out of business. So for me, it's the Houston Chronicle, Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg News, all that stuff I read. And since I'm from the technology world, I just stay on top of all these technology trends. I don't know what's happening. So all that stuff I told you about the trucks and all that stuff, all that cross-laminated 18-story wooden stuff, is all from reading on the internet. Now, am I going to do something with that? Probably not. I'm not in the trucking business or a building business. But yeah, you never know. Thank you very much.
Please leave your graduation form.